People in the United States are facing economic and social dilemmas more severe than any seen in decades. Unemployment rates are at a 20-year high, corporations face public bailout, and millions of people are without health care. Government leaders are searching for ways to bring the United States economy and that of the entire world back into a pattern of long-term growth and prosperity. And they are not alone. The Committee for Economic Development, an independent, nonpartisan organization, has been at the table, helping to develop and implement major economic and social policy since 1942. CED brings together some of the best minds in business and academia from the United States and throughout the world to address national and international issues and develop common sense, sustainable economic policies.
I cannot think of a single business organization other than CED that not only knew what they were against, but knew what they were for. And that's really, really important because, as we say in Tennessee, any mule can kick a barn down. It takes a carpenter to build one. And CED is the only business group I'm aware of in America that's willing to be in the carpentry business.
CED is not just an organization for reform, they're an organization for free enterprise, for free trade, for all of the fundamental principles that I also believe are vital to the future of America, and I'm grateful.
CED has been making an impact on important public policy issues for more than 65 years. Our first major success story was our involvement in the Marshall Plan, an initiative led by the U.S. government in 1947 that formulated a plan to rebuild the economic structure of Europe after World War II.
Every business today is embedded in society, and its success is dependent on the success of the society in which it is embedded. And to me, that goes to the heart of CED. We are recognizing as business leaders that we are dependent and synergistic with a better society. And we have to lead our organizations not only for short-term performance, but for long-term sustainability, and that includes a societal impact.
Clearly, the legislation and the fiscal posture of the United States that emerge from this crisis will redefine the relationship between government and private enterprise in this country for a long time to come.
Well, I think the unique proposition about CED since its founding in 1942 is the fact that it's an organization made up of CEOs, university presidents, community leaders, and it is a trustee-led, member-led organization as opposed to a staff-led organization. The major policy issues that need addressing are those selected by the trustees. The organization is independent, it is nonpartisan, and has become recognized as an honest broker among policymakers with regard to these major issues of policy.
It's a very open forum. I was very impressed by the very first meeting of the willingness to listen to on-the-ground experience. I don't have the kind of meta experience that some of these folks have. I'm not, a titan of business with 50 years of experience behind me, but my specialty area I know incredibly well, and they're very open-minded, and so it's been a wonderful experience in that way.
History has been an excellent teacher over the years, and businesses are learning that they must become good stewards of their social, natural, and economic environment. Businesses must continue to bring their voices to the table to help find ways to make affordable health insurance available to the millions that do not have it, to maintain the balance between a clean community and productive business climate, to restructure corporate America, and to address the complex policy challenges surrounding immigration that have become so important to our economy. These are just a few of the issues facing the business community that will require a socially responsible approach as we move forward. Business must be involved and must have the opportunity to give input in a clear, nonpartisan manner.
The way it works is this. Most congressmen and senators are pretty busy. They get distracted a lot. And some folks back home, no matter how well-intentioned they are, aren't able to keep up with the news and what's really going on in Washington. So their advice, no matter how sincere, is really not that helpful. What the CED does is provide a little extra knowledge for the business community so that they can participate in that debate at the highest levels in Washington. so they can be of maximum help to the senators and congressmen who are trying to make up their minds on these very complex issues. And by providing that input about what it's really like to try to make a payroll back home in whatever state you live in, and what it's really like to try to keep up with rising healthcare costs, and what it's really like when you have a valued employee who's got a terrible health problem, and suddenly you get dropped from all health insurance options in your area. That sort of knowledge is really important for the senator or congressman to have, and even more important is, all right, how do we fix this? It's one thing to complain. It's another thing to have a constructive, positive, comprehensive solution that solves the problem.
They were willing to stand up first and make this whole issue of corruption in Washington one of their most significant issues. I'm sure that each one of the members of CED could have probably found a way to profit through the kind of influence that can be and could be exerted here in Washington, but instead they stood up for what was right. And the fact that they did stand firm, I think, not only gave us encouragement, but it also sent a signal throughout the business community in America that, look, you can stand up for the right thing, and it is for the greater good of the country. I'm grateful for Charlie Kolb, and I'm glad that there were members of CED who stood up when it counted and gave us the kind of support that I think, particularly in the earliest days before it gained the momentum that it did, gave us the kind of support that was really vital at the time.
Maintaining a world-class organization that relies on input from some of the top minds in our country and the world is not a simple task. CED regularly assembles CEOs, government leaders, educational executives, and leaders in the scientific community to discuss problems and to find and help implement solutions. To ensure this effort continues and that business interests are consistently at the table, we need your help. CED is a nonprofit organization and relies exclusively on support from the business community and foundations. We believe that the common sense, nonpartisan solutions we develop reinforce the vital role that business plays in finding solutions to our economic and social problems. We welcome your help in continuing these important efforts.
We are at a unique moment in this country's history. We face some very important and daunting challenges. We face them in healthcare. We face them in terms of the budget deficit. We face them in entitlement reform. We face them in education. I hope that you'll consider all of these issues and become engaged. We need the voice of business. We need a nonpartisan business voice. We need your voice.